In winning the League Cup, Manchester United have secured their first trophy in 6 years. This is down to a lot of players playing extremely well, and one of those players is Wout Weghorst. Join me today as we discuss how Wout Weghorst has such a pivotal role in this Manchester United side, and why he is so integral to the way that they play. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe, it really would mean a lot to me. But now, let's talk about why Wout Weghorst is so important to Manchester United. These are Wout Weghorst's stats for this last year. He's being compared against strikers of his same category in Europe's top 5 leagues. And when we look at it, it's not really all too impressive, especially from an attacking standpoint. However, he does have a decent amount of progressive carries, 2 in one singular 90-minute match, and he also has some decent passes attempted. However, when we get down to this defensive category, it's where he really shines. When you think about the fact that he's a forward and his team ethic that would come into play with these stats, it's actually quite remarkable. 1.18 I should say tackles per 90, 91 or the 91st percentile, 95th percentile for interceptions, 90th percentile for blocks. You can see he's working for the side. You can see he's an extremely pivotal component in the way that his side presses, in the way that his side is defensively orientated, and that defensive aggression will come from the front, which means it will be far more on the front foot than if it would come from a central defensive midfielder, of course. He also is in the 76th percentile, as you can see, for aerial duels. One, that's because of his height, that's because of his physicality, and it just takes a little bit of a load off when a team like Manchester United are under pressure by teams who are able to dominate the ball that little bit more. He's also got some good clearances about him. So overall, these defensive stats for a striker are something that are just remarkable. And I think it's a category that not a lot of people are really talking about and not a lot of people are really looking at. It's his defensive attributes that really lend himself to be such a pivotal asset for this Manchester United side. Here is Wout Weghorst in this Manchester United side, and as you can see, I've got him lined up as the main pivotal central striker. However, that's not the only position that he plays. One of his main attributes is his ability to really transition with the likes of Bruno Fernandes to become a number 10, or to allow the likes of Marcus Rashford to drift into that central striking role. This then allows Rashford to be on the last line of defence, and then Weghorst is more than willing to do a job out at left wing if it so needs. It is one of the best things and best assets about Weghorst is the fact that he's selfless. He likes to work for the team. It's all about the team ethic, not necessarily about individual performances. Now, you might be able to have a little bit of a dig at that and say that he's not necessarily technically gifted to be in this side, but I would argue that his actual work rate and his capability off the ball to really start pressing players is one of the main characteristics why he's in this side. And actually, it's his work rate off the ball which I think makes him so incredibly pivotal to the way that Manchester United do their play. If you have a look at the Manchester United players, Marcus Rashford is not necessarily a pressing magnet, neither is Antony. Bruno Fernandes likes to do it, but he needs a player to play off. He needs a pivot to be able to help his own press work. And that comes from the likes of Wout Weghorst. If Weghorst goes, Bruno Fernandes knows that he's able to make that second pressure over on the other side, and it automatically makes a difficult decision for the opposition. It allows the likes of Manchester United's wingers to have a little bit of a rest, but at the same time it also keeps the pressure on. Weghorst's press and his ability to really rotate through the forward line to try and help the likes of his team really start to either take a break or allow them to reset their positions is something that gets overlooked and missed during a lot of the matches. A lot of the times you'll see Weghorst press into strange areas. I'm going to highlight this one right here because I do think it's extremely pivotal to understand. This will allow the likes of Antony, who is here, to reset if he's made a darting run out in the field. It also allows him to track back. Dalot can then reset into his position as well. And all of a sudden you have a Manchester United side that is no longer under pressure or anywhere near as much pressure as they previously were. His attacking runs are also something that need to be looked at. His darting runs through into the box to make space for other players like Rashford to be able to dart into the box is selfless, and it's a lot of the times the runs that don't get seen that are the most pivotal ones. There was a run that he made for Rashford which dragged away 2 defenders, and it just allowed Marcus Rashford to make that darting run in field. He dragged a couple of players with him, but just taking some of those defensive options away allowed Rashford to be able to go into goal. He's also got an extremely physical aerial presence, which means that in this kind of area, when Manchester United are under pressure and when they desperately need to be able to relieve pressure, they can utilise the kicking from David De Gea to be able to go long to Weghorst, who can make himself a nuisance in either the left-hand channel or the right-hand channel. It's this kind of presence that allows him to play off the likes of Antony and Fernandes to allow transition. He's able to help Fernandes to be able to switch the play to Rashford, or vice versa, depending on what side of the play is on. It's just an incredibly useful tool and asset to have a player who's willing to sacrifice himself and his own personal game to be able to help the team go forwards. Normally, his presence will drag a couple of players round onto this left-hand channel if he so chooses to make his way over there. This will then leave a load of space for Antony to be able to drive into, and a lot of time you've seen Antony in so much space and people have been wondering why he's not been picked up. It's actually due to the added extra runs from Weghorst and Fernandes to try and bring the play over to one side, allowing that switch from the likes of Eriksen or Casemiro just to make those runs for Antony that little bit easier. All of this is being facilitated by the selfless working nature of Wout Weghorst. He is extremely good at making sure that he understands the spaces in the game. He's a very clever player and he works off the likes of Bruno Fernandes very well. But perhaps his best attribute of all is his ability to link play with other players without thinking that he needs to be on the end of things. He is continuously trying to make options for his own teammates, he's continuously trying to create space for others, and he's always willing to be a link man, a player that can have something played off him and then rotated around to either one of the wingers or perhaps even back to one of the central strikers, or the central defensive midfielders, I should say. His ability to track back is something that is continuously overlooked, and oftentimes you'll see him playing in this central defensive midfield role to assist the likes of Casemiro or Eriksen if Manchester United ever need him to. A selfless player that allows necessarily the rest of the team to work, and just because he doesn't necessarily have the quality in front of goal does not mean that he isn't an integral pin to this Manchester United side. He absolutely is, and he is one of, if not one of the main reasons why they have found themselves in possession of a trophy. He is fantastic, and Manchester United are going to seriously miss him at the end of the season. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on Wout Weghorst and Manchester United. How important do you think Wout Weghorst is to this Manchester United setup? And what do you think Manchester United can achieve this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.